Hello, and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. Here's an example. Last time, I was speaking about gorillas and looking at nonfiction accounts about gorillas. I want to share this book. This is fiction, but it's so beautifully told, such a gripping story, such a moving story that I want to share it with you. It's by Lucy Boston. She wrote a number of fiction books. Several took place at a place called Green Knoll, and it was out in the country, more of an estate. There was a moat, there was woods, and so forth. And so this book is divided into 3 sections. The first section takes place in Africa with a family of gorillas. It's an extended family of gorillas. And as they wander nomadically through the forest and live their life, finding food along the way, and it was like a whole large forest to roam in. The second part is about a gorilla that's been raised for much of its life in a zoo, in London Zoo. And the third part takes place at Green Knoll. Now, I wanted to read a few things that might pertain to trees. So here's a sentence. Ping is, who comes from China, spent some of the previous summer at Green Knoll, but didn't meet the woman who owns Green Knoll. So they're meeting for the first time, and she says to him, "I'm sorry there's no forest for you here, but there is quite a nice wood beyond the moat called Toesland Thicket. But of course you know that." Well, he does know this wood, but what I thought was interesting is we've got distinctions, words for forest, words for a wood, and a thicket. We have sort of a concept of what those mean. And they go inside, and Mrs. Oldknow is serving some lunch to Ping, and she's got the tablespoon set, and on it she's got a cup, and Ping is staring at it. She wonders if something's wrong with him. "Aren't you hungry?" "It's the cups," he says. And he says, "My mother had those cups at home when I was little. I'm sure I'm not dreaming." Well, the cups are cups that, as it says here, they were thin blue cups without handles, patterned with glazed oval windows the size of rice grains, through which the light shone when they were held up. So here's a bowl that we got when we first moved to Victoria, British Columbia. There's a large Chinese community here, and a Chinatown, and we went there and we found these bowls, and we were quite puzzled and entranced by them, because my sense of how this is done is this. The bowl, or in the case of the cup, is made by quite thin, and rice kernels are pressed into the clay, and then that's put into a kiln and fired. and the kernels burn down to ashes. And so with a little blowing and all, shaking, the ashes disappears and you've got clear holes. Well, then the painting is done, and the painting inside and the bottom and everything. And a clear, after that's dried, then a clear glaze is put on the outside, and it's fired again. So the end result, where those kernels had been, you see the clear light shining through. And another place I'd like to share with you is they've gone out and to what, as far as Ping is concerned, this place, property is just magical, and especially compared to where he's been living in a Relief Society Intermediate hotel. And so he's walking along and he comes to some bamboo, and he parts the bamboo with his hands and looks out, sees the water in the moat, and beyond it the walls of Green Knowe. And Mrs. Old Knowe was standing on the further bank cutting roses off a rambler that hung down out of the sky, where it had climbed up an elm tree. "Oh, hello, Ping," she called. "How right you make the bamboo look." You know, the picture as she looks at him of him spreading the bamboo apart, and bamboo we associate with China, and here he is, young Chinese lad. "What a pity I haven't a willow pattern bridge for you." Now, that reminded me of dishes that were based on a pattern called the willow pattern. It involved a scene with a bridge, and was on dishes that probably your grandparents may have heard about or seen or used even. And someone, Pam Conrad in particular, was fascinated by this plate and the story behind it. What was it based on? And she researched it, and she wrote a book about it. And the blue willow, the bridge, and all those things are in it. It's beautifully done story, and the artwork is beautiful as well. So that's a side little branch that that you might want to take. Coincidentally, my two oldest grandchildren are taking a course in pottery once a week, and they're loving it. And they're doing a number of projects, and might be something you might look into, the whole making of dishes and vases and things like that. Is there anything else that I wanted to share with you? Well, just that this book, I think, is best for adults because of the depth of the story, the emotions, the language. It's nothing that's objectionable. It's just that I think it's better as it would be better as an adult book. So think about it. And as I say, fiction sometimes gives that heart and soul to that It's hard to sometimes capture in a nonfiction book. Well, thanks for joining me, and bye for now until next time.